And just like my colleague who has just spoken, I drafted something, but I think this is just for my eyes, not for. Don't think it's for for the entire audience. And I'll be very brief. Maybe 5 minutes is even too much. I think mine is more or less like a lamentation from the Zambian perspective, calling it situation analysis on science journalism in Zambia. If I was to maybe describe the situation in just one sentence, I would say, from the Zambian perspective, scientists are closed up, while journalists shun the subject. That's the situation in Zambia. And I'm glad that there is no Zambian scientist here. So the challenge we have is most of the editorial policies are tilted towards the coverage of politics in Zambia. I think that's a general situation. You find any new newspaper coming up, their target is political reporting, as opposed to other areas like science or science-related areas. The same goes even for the electronic media. Everyone wants to talk about politics. I don't know why. Unfortunately, even our masters, the readers, it's like they enjoy politics more. And you know, if your master has identified an area where he wants you to concentrate, so sometimes they encourage, the readers are the one, and listeners and viewers are the one who make us tilt more towards political reporting, which, in my view, is not helping the situation, especially in terms of highlighting the science issues or science-related issues. There is generally lack of appreciation of science and the technology-related issues among journalists, coupled with the attitude of readers and members of the public who focus more attention on political and crime stories, as I have already alluded to. This motivates the media houses to further unleash more and more political and crime stories at the expense of science, technology, and say business-related stories. To compound the situation, I came up with this before, I think before this meeting. To compound the situation, sources in the name of scientists seem to be closed up, as I've already said. The opportunities to augment their voices go yawning, thereby contributing to the perpetuation of the stereotype of coverage devoid of science-related content. So it comes back to what my colleague said. We need to find a way of working, the media working with the scientists, because maybe we misquote scientists. Maybe we don't have access to the expert information. So, but if we work together, like others have said, we will be educated on how to report. They will also be educated on how to format the information. In the end, everyone will win. Then another challenge we have is only a few people in the science space, including the academia, are willing to be interviewed, let alone to proactively render expert opinions. From my experience, when you are at a meeting like this one, I'm not saying that the scientists we have around will do what I'm going to say, when you are at a meeting like this one, everyone would pledge to talk to the media, or pledge to cooperate, or pledge to work with the media. But immediately you go out there, one-on-one, you call them for an interview or what, the answer is different. I'm not saying that's what the participant here would do. I don't think so. But that's what has been happening in the past. And that's in Zambia, so it's different. Zambia is different. Yeah. So another challenge is a lack of generalist specialization in science and technology related fields. This has been a bigger challenge. You send, like at the moment as an editor, you send somebody out there to cover maybe a science-related event. They come back with something totally different, something you are not expecting from them. As a result, you get so discouraged. Maybe in the end, instead of using that story, you pick a political story and use it. So thereby continuing with the same situation. So I think we really need some investment in the training, like my colleague has also said. The intricate nature of science and technology also poses a challenge for reporters to acquire in-depth understanding of the field, making it nearly impossible for many to report on it. Then the technical jargons in science and technology again, and technology reports also make it quite a hurdle for most reporters to write quality and analytical stories on the issue. So again, it comes back to the importance of working together. The journalists, including the reporter, those who are just beginning, they need scientists and other experts for them to be groomed. Because without that, they will continue misquoting and maybe doing what is not supposed to be done. But if journalists have access to scientists or experts who are going to explain some of these things, even away from the coverage, sometimes you don't need even to say this is a story which will come out tomorrow. No, you just, for instance, from a scientist point of view, you just call a reporter. Oh, I want us to talk about this, what we are working on. It's not for publication. I just want you to know that we are working on this, and we are working after this, there will be this. I think the journalists and who appreciate. Connected to that also, as journalists, we are hungry for and thirsty for news and results. So maybe sometimes what should be done is, I know the results can't come within, I've read, I think there's some experts discussant here were mentioning 10 years, 20 years. But at least every time you make some breakthrough, you announce it. This has been happening in other sectors, including among the investors. For instance, if a new investor is about to invest, they will announce, we are about to invest this. The day they are going to maybe clinch some deal for financing, again they will announce. They don't tire. Every time there is a new achievement, a small achievement, they announce. That way, I think you keep the momentum going. As opposed, for instance, if I want a story, then I'm told, come back 10 years later. I think that would be discouraging. So I think we need to find strategies of keeping the momentum and keeping the interest of the readers and of the journalists going. I think in terms of strategies, I think we may talk about those. But maybe I just want to highlight just 4 things. I will not go into details, but just mention them to be amiss of me not mentioning. I think we have media award in Zambia. just specifically for science-related coverage. I think that has also helped to enhance the coverage of this field. Then also, I'm not saying that this because she's here, the National Biosafety Agency, I think has also helped to raise the platform. Personally, for instance, I'm covering this not for the first time. I think I was first introduced to science reporting and what a few years ago in Kenya when I was carried along to cover these issues, and from there I even won an award, and that has sustained my interest in science related. I'm not employed to cover science-related issues, but I have personal interest in this. And as a result, here we are. Then the other may be important, like I've already mentioned, the news is hungry for news, newspapers or the media in general. We are hungry for good news and results. So I think there is no way we can shun if there is a good news in science. Every time there is a good news and result, a big news, and we'll be there. I think that's what should give comfort to all the people here. Then also, what has new development in Zambia, at least for the first time in a long time, we have the ministry, a standalone Ministry of Science and Technology. Previously, every time you mentioned science, it was connected to school, because science was placed under the Ministry of Higher Education. So, and it was coming under secondary school, tertiary education. But now this is standing alone, and we hope through this we can have maybe independent scientists, or rather scientists coming up and to help us explain some of the things we have been unable to understand. I think that's all.